about 7 o'clock in the evening here at the Proving Grounds, and Jack is back with us. Thanks for coming back, Jack.
Thanks for having me, Grant.
Yeah,
it's great to be back.
Yeah, so you may remember Jack was with us this spring and flew his thermal drone on a kind of a misty day, and we were looking at where deer were in those conditions, whatnot. It's very interesting. We'll have a link to that video in the description. But right now we got some good bachelor bucks, and we want to see where deer are hanging out. We're a month plus from deer season. And so things are gonna change. We're in a period of change right now. That velvet's gonna get knocked off, stuff like that. The big change, of course, is hormones are changing. That testosterone level is gonna come way up. But Jack offered to come down and take a look, and we've done some habitat changes too. So Jack, I want you to get up there and do your magic and kind of see where the deer are right now, what habitat they're in, and are they up and moving yet? Are they bedded? Because it was, 90 plus degrees a day, very hot. It's cooled down just a little. We're in the shade, but it's still pretty toasty out there in a long sleeve shirt. You think the deer are gonna be up and walking time you get up flying around, or are they still gonna be laying pretty tight?
I think they should be, yeah, especially in the more open areas of the timber. We'll be able to see in there and see what's going on. So
yeah, okay, I'm excited to see a couple things. Where deer are they up and moving or not? Are they all in bachelor groups? Are we finding any single bucks this time of year? That doe-fawn ratio, lots of great information Jack can provide landowners. And we're gonna show you some of the stuff live as it's going here on Jack's setup. So man, stay tuned, and we're gonna get that bird's eye view of the Proving Grounds, the deer herd, maybe see some other critters. Is that right, Jack?
Absolutely, maybe a few squirrels, rabbits, turkeys, whatever's out there.
Yeah, hopefully not my neighbors, or no, I'm just teasing, something like that. So anyway, we're gonna see who's out there, what's going on, and fire that bad boy up. Let's take off.
Let's do it.
This is a little 1/8 acre Heidi-O food plot. You can see the redneck blind right there. She's in range right now out that window. Yeah, she is head down. Holy mackerel. Super clear. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh, there's her fawn. What a beautiful view of the spots on that thing too. Man, that is so cool. In the corner of a food plot, this tall stuff is sun hemp, and of course this is a green cover blend. We've got a couple of young bucks just bedded down here, right in this tall sun hemp. You can see milo heads over here and stuff. We are waiting, of course. There's no rain in our forecast for even think about drilling through and planting this, but those bucks are enjoying the food and that tall cover out there right now. You can tell the bottom leaves off this sun hemp have all been browsed off, and same as this one. A little earlier it was browsing on that. You can see it's browsing on some forage a little bit lower in there right now. Just laying there chilling out, eating and in cover. Doesn't get much better than that. That's like breakfast in bed. Got to remember, this is their morning, right? Deer have bedded all day, so afternoon is the deer's breakfast. And then in the morning, that's their evening. They're gonna get a little snack and go to bed. So this is breakfast. They're having breakfast in bed right now. Love watching what they're selecting meat. And just help yourself. Oh yeah, bed down and eat right there. It's a great thing with the Green Cover Summer Release Blend. It's food and cover at that time of year. You don't want your deer traveling far for several reasons. We're all selfish. We don't want them on a neighbor's land. No one likes to say that, but it's the truth. And the more they have to travel, of course, it takes more calories, more susceptible to predation. The more you move, the more you expose yourself. So when you got food and cover in the same plot now, we're drilled through that, remove a bunch of that cover for the fall crop, but there's still gonna be some stuff standing, milo stems and whatnot, that provide some cover. We find that deer are much more active during daylight areas when there's cover out there versus a pool top table of, that old standard, wheat field that's this tall, clean as a pool table. That's not much cover for deer, but blends like this are really good cover. Of course, we're shorting that down, knock sun hemp down when we drill, and it'd be awesome. And not cleaning the table, right? Because if we don't use a herbicide, we just drill through there, there's still stuff for them to eat, the legumes that are low quality, but enough room in here for our fall crop to get sunshine, germinate, and grow. Jack found another deer here, really chowing down on multiple species of native browse. We talk a lot about native browse. We call it the release process. You can tell we've just cut a bunch of cedars in here. We haven't burned it yet, obviously. And I've watched this deer eat on several species, and they're getting a lot of different nutrients and minerals out of those different species. That's the beauty of native browse. Oh, look at that, getting aggressive. I mean, that's like a vacuum cleaner wearing that down. Look at that, just working up stem. Look at that.
That's cool.
That is very cool. This is Sericea lespedeza, and notice it's not taking any bites off that. Here's some more Sericea right here. It hurts me. We're trying to eradicate it, just found some more. Look at that bare stem now. Look at that. That was full of leaves. Watch this, that's an oak. That's a young oak right there. And you're thinking that's a lot, but remember, deer eat somewhere around 5% dry weight of their body weight a day, so those leaves have a lot of moisture in there. So to get that, you know, if that's a 100-pound deer, just for easy math, 5% would be 5 pounds. You think about picking individual leaves to make 5 pounds. Again, these are round numbers, but you think about taking a big clothes hamper out there, clothes basket, and picking 5 pounds and being selective, not eating every leaf. Look at all the leaves they pass to get that going up in our stem. Look at that. That's like my family reunion eating an ear of sweet corn with a lot of butter on it. You just go up and down the ear as fast as you can. Oh, whoa. Look at that.
That's a nice deer.
Look at that. The old Bachelor group finally got up. Remember, this is breakfast time for these deer, so they're hungry.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Green Cover Food Plots, Winchester, PH Outdoors, Moultrie Mobile, Steel, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Morel Targets, Fourth Arrow, Scorpion Venom Archery, Case IH Tractors, Burris Optics, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
That's where ticks have been rubbing on them. See that real bright spot? That's raw, where they've been taking their antlers and trying to get ticks off their neck right there. There's an old buck we've been tracking quite some time. Look at that horsefly bothering him right there. He's chasing around. That's a very old buck. We've been chasing him a long time. Very mature buck. Oh yeah, get that thing off there. He did not like that fly on there, boys and girls. Fat, look at that. Look, womp, womp, womp. Look at those shoulders on that deer. In the Ozark Mountains, I think those green cover food plots are working a little bit. Look at that deer. Right there.
Oh, he's in there.
Yeah, he's right there. He's a wily rascal. Is that velvet cracking a little bit? Looks like it's cracking a little bit to me. Notice where there's a closed canopy, there's not near as many groceries on the ground as out in the open where we've cut those cedars. Pretty bald in there. You can see all the way to the ground. Where we cut cedars and got sunlight down, way more groceries. Now when we burn it, you can see we're getting some openings. We burn this, this is going to be awesome habitat, creating an oak savanna. I know a lot of y'all are thinking this is Iowa, but this is just good management in hill country. All my compadres from Maine, all the way down Smoky Mountains, swamp country, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi. We'll be in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia helping some landowners soon. You can do this to your property. You can create that native habitat and high quality food plots and have high quality deer. And native browse obviously is a great factor here. These deer look good, and we're really dry. We're really dry right now here. These bucks, this Bachelor group was down in a valley, pretty steep valley, little narrow creek that flows a good bit of the year down in there, nice and cool down in there. Closed canopy forest. and they're working up a very steep ridge to a hidey-ho we have on top of the ridge, and now the sun is right below the horizon, or about at it, so now the air is starting to cool, and as air cools, it goes down. So they're coming up the hill with those thermals in their nose. They waited till because before that, heat was rising, and so if they tried to walk up, they're not smelling anything up here. They waited till the thermals are sinking, and that puts the wind in their nose, and if you're hunting up here, unless you're in this redneck blind, your scent's going right down to them, and they're probably gonna bustle them before they get in view. And we know deer move, especially this time of year, last light, first light. Remember, this is breakfast. They've been bedded all day, so they've been in this valley. They're working up here, but the thermals are going down right into their nose. Deer live by their nose. And learning thermals, flat country, hilly country, mountainous country, learning thermals and how to navigate them is critical to harvesting deer, especially mature deer, on a regular basis. Every now and then, anyone can harvest a deer, just fluke accident. If you want to do that, fill those tags year after year, you have to understand thermals, and this was a perfect example. So they're not that far out of the bottom. This is the bottom right here. They're not very far out of the bottom. They may not get there till after dark. And this is a great thing. This deer's been up and down a few times. You hear some people talk about, oh, I know exactly where that deer's bedded. He's bedded right behind this log I placed there or something. That may work in ag country where there's not many units, but if you put up GPS collars on deer like I have or many of my colleagues have, there's a lot of beds per week. I think it's Mississippi State. Someone just published a couple of weeks ago or a month or two ago that in a 2-week period of time, they knew of 50 some odd different deer beds, different locations that buck had bedded. Normally return to the same spot once or twice, something like that. So I don't hunt a bed, I hunt bedding areas. I hunt terrain features and habitat like this where I know generally where deer are coming from and going. I don't think it's practical to hunt a bed unless you're in an area that has a very limited amount of habitat, like heavy ag country. And again, most of the hunters in the United States do not hunt that. They hunt big timber areas or western Oklahoma giant pasture areas or brush country. Those deer bed in many places on any given week. I'm very impressed with their health status, how fat they are, given how dry the conditions have been for quite some time here at the Proving Grounds. If you pull up the drought index, we're in one of those red colors right now. This is not ideal growing conditions. So I'm very impressed with that body condition. Jack, I can't thank you enough for coming down and helping us out. Your skills and the technology is just amazing. Not just that we saw some nice bucks, a doe and fawn, but even more than that, the deer behavior, uninterrupted. Where they were moving, where they're coming from, what time of day. Thank you so much for doing this. And I would be interested in your observations overall, because you do this a lot. We'll share Jack's contact information in here. He does this for a living. He's very skilled at it, obviously. So, Jack, what's your observations overall this time of year?
Yeah, Grant, I think, we were able to learn a lot tonight, and I appreciate you letting me come down. Being in the Ozarks is a little different from North Missouri, where I'm from. So a lot of soybeans, corn. So that's, much different in the summertime. Sometimes I'll find deer, a half mile into a cornfield. The rolling hills here is definitely a lot different.
Deer make a living off crops where you live. They combine that with native species here.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd say generally the deer behavior, deer are deer, right? So we got to see that tonight, but got to learn a lot of fun stuff. And
I mean, you're a Northern Missouri guy, and you've killed some monster deer. I know I've seen them. You brought a rack down here, but not bad deer for the Ozarks, right?
Oh yeah, heck of a deer. The green cover seeds is doing the job.
Well, just in management and time, let them get a little older, stuff like that. But when you're flying this time of year, you like to fly this late afternoon, early evening time frame?
Yep, we got to wait for that sun to go down and those thermals to get where we want them to be to see the deer, but work well tonight.
Yeah, it really did. And you do this time of year, you do deer surveys, you help people find wounded deer, lost deer?
Yep, we'll do recoveries during deer season this year in Missouri. We do offer a summer herd survey like we did tonight. That's usually July and August, depending on when your season starts. And then our main service is our winter survey like we did back in March here. So that's usually after season until about April.
Well, there's a lot of lessons we learned tonight. I probably won't touch them all right now, but again, seeing where the deer were. We expected those buck bachelor groups to be coming out steep bottoms. It's a little cooler and the thermals are down there churning during the heat of the day. We're higher up the ridge, thermals just rushing uphill. The heat's obviously rushing uphill. They waited till and slowly worked up there, because every foot they go up, it needs to be a little cooler for the thermals to really be activated. It's not like it starts at the top of the hill, goes all the way to the bottom at once. You know, that cool air starts 20 feet out of the bottom, 30 feet out of the bottom, 40 feet. They're just following that thermal line up. We can see that clearly. So great information and a great way to, so me telling it, show it so we can help educate folks at home. I really appreciate you doing that. If you want to reach out to Jack, again, we have his contact information on there. I trust Jack on my property. I don't see why there'd be any reason you don't trust Jack and use his services like I do on your property. Really thank you all for tuning in and learning about deer through this technology is great, but you know there's really nothing new under the sun. That's what Solomon wrote in Ecclesiastes 1:9. And one thing we know for sure, that the same creator then is the creator now, and we want him in charge of our life. So I encourage y'all to be intentional about seeking the creator and applying his will for your life. Thanks for watching Growing Deer. That deer is at the end of the food plot. We're right here by a food plot. We're right here at these trucks. See, way below. That's us. Here we are right here. Okay, go to the deer. Can you just zoom back to the deer? So we're 150 yards away, you think, Daniel? Yeah. 150 yards away, we're talking, my voice travels like crazy. And that deer's right over the edges here from where we are. There we are. Cheers. Join yourself a little Milo head, some sun hemp leaves. All right, bring it home. That was cool.